some brand new Fox News opinion polls for you showing nearly half of all Americans think that the Obama administration is actually making the economy worse, according to these numbers. This comes as these new jobs numbers we saw this morning show that more Americans applied for unemployment benefits this week. New evidence that layoffs are rising and the job market is still very, very weak. Let's bring in our panel and talk about this. Syndicated radio talk show hosts Leslie Marshall and Lars Larson. Thanks for being here to both of you. Leslie, let me start with you. I mean, obviously, these are not good numbers for the administration.
Well, there's no question these aren't good numbers, but this doesn't mean that the economy is worse. It means that unemployment currently has a higher rate. Historically, companies do tend to lay off in the summer months, and that's been whether we've had a good economy or a bad economy. But this doesn't make the economy bad, nor does it make it the president's fault. When we look at what the president's done, whether it's a bailout for Chrysler and GM, who have profits, and the Dow Jones that has doubled in the past 2 years, overall, economists, nonpartisan, say that the economy's getting better. But remember, it's a slow climb. And Lars, my love, the tortoise did beat the hare.
Lars, what say you?
I can't believe this. Companies don't lay off in the summertime. They hire in the summertime. Think about the industries that do. But beyond that, Leslie, to say, oh, the economy isn't bad, it's just unemployment. Unemployment is a measure of what's going on, the goods and services produced in this country. As for the stock market, if you talk to your economist friends like I have, they would tell you that a lot of those companies, God bless them, are making a lot of money overseas. They're not making it here, which is why Americans aren't being hired. They're being laid off. And yes, the president does have a lot to do with it. He has, since the beginning of his administration, created fear and uncertainty among business owners. They're sitting on a lot of money, which the president loves to criticize, but the reason they're doing it is they don't know what's coming next. Yeah. Is it higher taxes? Is it more regulations? And the president himself is to blame directly for a lot of the bad things that have happened in the economy in the last year. Tens of thousands of people laid off because the president banned oil drilling in the Gulf, for example, and the EPA regulations that his administration is pushing that are killing business throughout this country and sending the jobs overseas.
You know, when you look at some of these numbers and you look at the fact, Leslie, and I think that the summer employment issue is kind of a tough one to sell, because you've got Cisco and Borders Books and large companies, not to mention NASA, which at the end of this program is going to lay off 8,000 people in Florida. It's a tough argument that the economy is improving. And I think if you say that to, people across the country who are losing their jobs, they're going to have that. They're going to find that pretty tough to swallow. And when election time comes around, these numbers are going to be, people are going to vote their pocket. And this is not, I think, to gloss over it and say that this is an improving economy and boy, we just better be patient. Don't you think people are getting tired of hearing that?
Well, I don't disagree. People are getting tired of hearing that. We're a very impatient society. I'm one of the most impatient people alive. But the reality is we're not in a recession. The reality is we are in a better position economically. Is unemployment?
What do you base that on?
Well, economists in the numbers on Wall Street, the Dow Jones over the past 2 years. We're not in a recession. We're no longer in a recession. We were in a recession.
As Lars has pointed out, there's a lot of reasons why corporations are doing better. One is that they're very lean. They have stopped hiring. They're very productive because they're very lean right now. That's not good for jobs. And it also, we do see a lot of investment overseas. So the fact that the Dow Jones Industrial, everybody wants to see the Dow go up. That's good for everybody's 401k. That's happy news. I agree with you there. But I'm asking you where else you see an economy that's improving. You've got 21,000 jobs added to payrolls in 2 months. 21,000 jobs. That is a pathetic number, Leslie.
Well, I don't disagree with the number, but when Lars talks about the jobs that have been outsourced overseas, this isn't something that just happened. This is something that happened prior to the stimulus, and you know it.
No, but
in 2000, the unemployment rate was 4.2%. In 2008, the unemployment rate was 7.6%. So we were heading this direction before the stimulus and before Obama walked into the White House.
Hey, Martha.
Yes, he's president now. I'm not blaming Bush, but this has been a historical cyclical event, a spiral downward that does not have to do with just Democrat or Republican.
The question that's going to be on everyone's mind, though, and I want Lars to take this on, as you head towards the election, is the administration making the economy better or is it making it worse?
No.
That's the question.
They're making it worse, and I can give you the concrete examples. The regulations that are crushing American business, the uncertainty about health care. Obamacare is going to kill a lot of companies. They're going to be forced to either pay a fine to the government or cover their employees at much higher cost. And the president somehow sold us a bill of goods that we could cover 40 million additional people for health care at no net cost to the economy. It didn't happen, and it isn't happening. And Leslie, I can't imagine that you can tell me that raising taxes is going to be good for companies that are looking at their balance sheet saying, can we afford to add people or subtract people if our costs are going to go up?
All right. We got to leave it there. Leslie Marshall, Lars Larson, thank you very much. This is the central question that we're going to face over the next 15, 18 months about the administration and whether or not they're improving it or making it worse. So we thank you for being here and weighing in on that, Lars and Leslie. Good to see you guys. Many thanks.